Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight on the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please join with me in thanking not only the group that made the presentation of the colors, but our very talented youngsters from Owensboro High School, too. Thank you very much, and be seated. The Chamber of Commerce has sponsored this type of event for many years because the Chamber knows that your vote counts, and Daviess County's vote counts as well. If your county is voting, that will get the attention of those that represent us. So please, before you leave, grab a Go Vote button, and more importantly, be sure to vote on Tuesday, November 8th. Now, the order of I think some of you all have programs, but we're going to go right through this. As you know, the rules are already listed. Each will have 2 minutes per candidate for the family court judge nominees, or rather candidates. We'll begin with the family court judge candidate, Cliff Boswell.
Well, it's good to see everybody out here today. As Kirk said, my name's Cliff Boswell. The name my parents gave me was Clifton, but my friends call me Cliff. And I'm running for family court judge. I'd be very honored to have your votes. There's not a lot of time for me to tell you about myself, but I've got a couple minutes. And let me just say that it's been my privilege and my honor for the past 13 years to serve this community and provide legal services to the families of Daviess County. This includes the opportunity to represent families of Daviess County in every type of family law matter that would ever come before me as your family court judge. So just to tell you a few things about me as far as my values, my vision for the family court system. First of all, I'd like to tell you that I'm a man of faith. I know that I'm going to be asked as your family court judge to make a lot of very difficult decisions. And I know and trust that with God's wisdom, I can make the right and wise decisions for our families. Second of all, I'm a family man. And my wife's here today with my kids. We've been married for 16 years. We've got 4 kids. And what I would like to do, what I want to be sure to do, what I'm committed to do, is to treat the families of Daviess County with the same level of care and compassion that I would want for my own family. Third, I'd like to tell you that I'm a lifelong advocate of the pro-life cause. I'm proud and honored to be the only candidate in this race who's endorsed by the Kentucky Right to Life. Fourth, I'd like to tell you that I'm committed to the principle that fathers are just as important to the well-being of children as mothers. I've had the opportunity for the last 8 years to serve with Mentor Kids Kentucky, an organization that serves fatherless and at-risk youth. And I've had the opportunity to see the negative effects on our society of fatherlessness. So I believe that kids need their mothers, but they also need their fathers, and we should not show preference to one over the other. But what I ultimately believe, guys, is I believe in showing fairness to all. And again, my name is Cliff Boswell. I'd be honored to have your vote on November the 8th. Thank you.
Thank you, Cliff. The second candidate running for office is Julie Hawes Gordon. Please give her a warm welcome.
Good afternoon. I appreciate you all being here today. And my name is Julie Hawes Gordon, and I'm a leading family law attorney fighting for families in our community. And for more information on my experience, I'd encourage you to go to davisfamilycourt.com. It's on our website. But what I want to tell you about here today is why I'm running. And I'm running because I care. I'm running because there are 1,228 juvenile abuse and neglect cases filed last year in Daviess County. No child should have their case languish in the system. No child should be unsafe. No child should go through 30 or 40 or 50 placements with no family and nowhere to call home. No child should know that instability that they have had to go through in the system. My husband and I are adoptive parents. I'm an adoptive mom to one of the children who's been failed by the system. And I have seen the pain and the heartbreak that children face when they go through the system. No child deserves to go through unnecessary trauma and anxiety. No child deserves to go through the system deprived of a loving relationship with a father or a mother. At this moment, we have the opportunity to do something new. We have the opportunity to make a change for these children and for the families of our community because they are our future. I have seen the difference that we can make, and that is my pledge, is to ask the hard questions and be fair and treat each family, each individual with dignity, and to give every man, woman, and child that comes before the family court system a voice. So I'd appreciate your vote on November the 8th. Thank you.
Our next candidate, please welcome Susan Montalvo Gasser.
Thank you, Kirk. Thank you, Candace, and all of the chamber for having us here today. I'm Susan Montalvo Gesser, and I'm running to be your first family court judge in Daviess County. I want to thank my family for being here because they're supposed to be at the Owensboro Board of Education meeting where my daughter JoJo is getting an award for being a part of the Duke TIP program. So I'm so proud of you, JoJo, and my other 3 children. And I wish all of the kids in Daviess County had the support and the opportunities that my 4 children have. I know that our family court can't create that opportunity by fiat. But I also know, as a product of our public and Catholic schools who grew up in poverty after my parents' divorce, that we can lay a fertile groundwork in our community so that our children can succeed. Like the other family court candidates, court judge candidates, I grew up right here in Owensboro. I left the Commonwealth to go to Washington University in St. Louis, where those people really underestimated this Kentucky girl. And I graduated magna cum laude and received the Friedman Prize for the best student studying political science. I went on to Brandeis School of Law at the University of Louisville, where I had my second child, commuted 2 hours one way, and still managed to be the top graduate in my class as chosen by the faculty. So I went on to work for Judge McKinley in our federal court and to work at Sullivan, Mountjoy, Steinbeck, and Miller prior to joining Kentucky Legal Aid, where I have helped over 1,200 families and am now going to family court in 5 different counties. So if you want an experienced candidate in family court, I ask for you to vote for Susan Montalvo Gesser on November 8th to be your first family court judge. Thank you so much.
And our final candidate for family court judge, please welcome Angela Thompson.
Good afternoon. I'm Angela Thompson. I'm running for family court judge. I was born and raised here in this great community of Daviess County. I received my undergraduate degree from Kentucky Wesleyan College. I am married and I have 4 children. In 12 days, we are going to elect our first family court judge. How exciting is that? That is wonderful for our community, and I'm really excited about that. That judge is going to have a lasting impact on our men, women, and children of Daviess County. This is a critical position. We have to get this right for the families and children of Daviess County. But why should you choose me? What have I been doing? Well, it's been a long journey since I passed the bar exam 23 years ago. For 19 years, I represented men, women, and children in divorce, custody, child support, domestic violence, adoption cases. I did that for 19 years. 3.5 years ago, there was a position came available as the Domestic Relations Commissioner, and I applied for that job. I felt like that's what I needed to do, and so I went forward and I applied. And I was very fortunate to be appointed by Judge Joe Caslam to serve as your commissioner in Daviess Circuit Court, Division II. Since that time, I've been hearing the cases that the family judge will hear. I'm hearing the divorce cases. I make decisions. I preside over hearings. These are the exact same type of hearings that will be heard by our family court judge. Since becoming commissioner, I've presided over approximately 2,400 hearings. I've listened to cases. I've heard the struggles of men, women. I've interviewed children. I have worked as your commissioner. I'm the only candidate that has presided over a family law case. I'm the only candidate that's made a decision in a family law case. These are hard decisions. I stay up late sometimes. I pray sometimes that I make the best decision. Thank you. I'm Angela Thompson.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you. Coming up next are the candidates for city commissioner. But before I introduce them, I have a very special friend I'd like to introduce first. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a warm welcome to our own Chief Executive here at Daviess County, Judge Al Mattingly. Judge? He's not running for anything, so it's kind of a nonpartisan judge, right? Welcome, Judge. Thank you for letting us use the court.
Thanks, Kirk. That's what somebody said. Why do you have a smile on your face? I said, because I don't have to stand up here and make a speech and ask you to vote for me, although it would be an honor for me to ask that. I want to welcome everyone to Owensboro and Daviess County for the red, white, and blue picnic. As I look out at the crowd, I saw my good friend Judge Townsend from Webster County over there, Judge, and there were 2 people who followed him here from Webster County. There may have been more, but Judge, when I told them they had to pay an entry fee to Daviess County if they were from Webster County, they got up and left. So you're on your own. You know, this is extremely important, and as I look out over the crowd and see the faces of all the young people out here, it really does my heart good. And I read the article this morning in the newspaper that said we may have a record turnout this year, and that's great. Because if anybody knows me the last 3 years, and stay with me, folks, I'm going to get to where I'm going. I've been doing a lot of exercising. And why do you exercise? You exercise to become stronger. You exercise to build up your body. And that's why I'm asking each and every one of you in 2 weeks, or in 12 days to be exact, to exercise your right to vote. And if we have each and every one of you exercising your right to vote, we become a better community. We become a better commonwealth. And we become a better nation. So I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. And let's give all the candidates the patience that they are due. And just know that when they finish, the cold air will be gone because they'll be spewing a lot of hot air. See ya.
Thank you, Judge. Besides all the hard work that Jessica, Candace Brake, and the entire chamber team puts on, we also would like to take just a moment to recognize our sponsor. AT&T has been wonderful to this community, and it's our pleasure to have on behalf of AT&T their Regional Director of Legislative Affairs. Please join me in welcoming Joan Duncan. Joan? Come on here. Joan, thank you on behalf of the Chamber and our community for sponsoring this forum.
It's our pleasure. Good afternoon. Engaging in the democratic process is one of the most important activities we can undertake as citizens. And for this reason, I'm delighted to have each and every one of you here. And AT&T is delighted to partner with our chamber in putting together this forum. At AT&T, our employees work very hard every day to connect people everywhere they live, work, and play. And today is an opportunity for all of us to connect with the candidates in advance of the election. Regardless of your party affiliation, I hope you'll do your part and vote on November the 8th. But please help me thank our chamber for putting together today's forum and express our appreciation for what they do to make our community grow each and every day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Joan and AT&T. The candidates for City Commissioner, again, each will receive 2 minutes to be able to address you, and we'll start with the first candidate for the Owensboro City Commission, Larry Condor.
Hello, everyone. My name is Larry Condor. I'm a real estate developer, unlike a certain national candidate. The only difference is this: my wife's hotter, and she's right over there. Okay, so if we look at what we've been able to do, I want to tell you a story, a little quick story. There used to be the big oak tree that was downtown about 10 years ago. My wife and I came down here, sat underneath that tree, and finally decided, what can we do with the blessings God gave us in the mid-90s? We decided to bring our assets back home and help with our city. Not only do you see what's going on downtown, but what is also happening in the rest of our city. So the main thing we want to do today is what? And the biggest question that I get is, why do I want to do this? Why would I even entertain doing it? The reason why is simply because we need to move this idea of what we've done and the energy we have in our downtown to other areas. Walk 5 blocks that way and you'll see why. Go over the Triplet area, you'll see why. We, as a community, will bring those areas back up. Do we have those challenges as far as our budget and our financial concerns? Yes, we do. How do we address those? Al Mattingly spoke just a little while ago. Fiscal court and the city of Owensboro can do this together in a lot of different ways through interlocal agreements that will help the rest of our community rise up. And it is possible for us to even become better and to make it happen for everyone on a better basis. We see what's happening with our new jobs. that is happening right next door. The Riverport, we have so many assets. Now we just need to leverage them better and making sure our mind stays with everyone else. Again, my name is Larry Conder. I ask for your vote humbly to serve the rest of our city. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Larry. Nice job. The next candidate, again, running for the Owensboro City Commission, please welcome Joey Conley. Joey, welcome. Thank you.
Hello. Owensboro elects 4 commissioners to have different voices representing different interests. Today you'll hear many speeches about economic development, which is certainly an important issue that affects all Owensboro citizens, but is not the only issue. Our commission must make decisions that positively impact the people of Owensboro, men and women who live, raise their families, and build their lives here. For too long, we have seen elected officials table indefinitely issues that benefit people, while decisions like selling the sports center need only 20 minutes. I will be the commissioner who can balance business interests and human interests. I will focus on economic development by creating new sources of revenue. But more importantly, I want to grow our people. I want a mentorship program that pairs seniors of our local institutions of higher learning with local successful business people to show them how to develop their talents and their skills right here in Owensboro. I want them to have all the tools they need to stay in the city and to develop new great city companies like Red Pixel Studios and Tanner West. I want to pass a fairness ordinance so that no one can be fired for any reason except job performance. I want to design hiring initiatives that encourage more minorities to apply for city jobs so we can have an inclusive city government that reflects all parts of our city's population. I love Owensboro. I've spent my life investing my talents here, first in city government by working for the Parks Department, and for the past 7 years by teaching English at Kentucky Wesleyan College, mentoring our youth. I want to make sure we all enjoy the services that make Owensboro a great city, like police, fire, and parks, while having those amenities be affordable. I want every single member of this city to feel heard and valued. I'm Joey Conley, and I would appreciate your vote on November 8th. Thank you.
The next candidate for the Owensboro City Commission, please welcome Bob Darling. Bob?
Thank you. Hello, my name is Bob Darling. I'm running for City Commissioner. I'm number 2 on the ballot, and I would appreciate your support. This community has meant a lot to me over the years. My parents were very involved in this community, and that's one reason I'm running for office. My campaign slogan is keeping more money, keeping your money to you for your wants and your needs. I think in this community we need a new conversation on what we want to spend our money on, and I think for the last 8 years we haven't had that conversation. So I look forward to working with the community, working with the future commissioners to do that. Community means a lot to me. Your support would mean a lot to me, and I request it. I'm number 2 on the ballot, Bob Darling, and I hope to gain your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you. Our next speaker, running for the Owensboro City Commission, please welcome Andy Gamblin. Andy?
Good afternoon. I want to welcome y'all for coming out here today, and I also want to thank the Chamber for hosting this. This is a great opportunity. It's America. This is what America is all about. My name is Andy Gamblin. I'm running for City Commissioner. I'm very, very concerned about our city because we are in debt, and we need to get out of debt. And I want to work to get us out of debt. I want to take care of our police department, fire department, because they are in a strain right now. We need to be helping them. And this is your money. We need to be taking care of your money. And so on November the 8th, I'm asking that you will vote number 4 for Andy Gamblin, and you will have a conservative on the City Commission that will watch out for you. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Our next candidate running for City Commission here in Owensboro, please welcome Mark Anthony Howard. Mark?
Welcome, Mark. Thank you for coming.
Hello, good evening. It really is an honor to share the stage with so many bright and concerned citizens. My name is Mark Anthony Howard. I was born and raised here. I make my living today as a manager at a grocery store just up 60, where I see and serve many of you here. We've seen many marked improvements in recreation and tourism opportunities, but what are we missing? After all, the city is about much more than just downtown. What is holding our community back, and what will propel us forward as we meet the future and compete in a rapidly changing global and political economic landscape? With projected future budget shortfalls in mind, I will be a pragmatic, informed, and principled decision maker. I will be an advocate for the hardworking citizens of this community and ensure that any burden is weighed responsibly and fairly. We're firmly into the 21st century, and deals between community and big business hinge on community values. We must position ourselves so we are attractive to future business opportunities, convention traffic, and tourism. It is vital to be recognized regionally, nationally, even globally as an open-minded, welcoming, and warm community. It's time for Owensboro to take an official stance and outlaw discrimination based on sexual orientation, because it's the right thing to do. For the recognition of our peers, for future economic security and opportunity for our community, I am and will be a strong proponent of a fairness ordinance. I believe in servant leadership, serving before leading. It's my belief that Owensboro progresses under a flag of unity, love, and compassion. When all citizens are informed, when all citizens make decisions together as one, not only does it stoke the fires of democracy, it inevitably breeds future servant leaders with like-minded, community-oriented philosophies. Again, I'm Mark Howard. I ask for your consideration on November 8th, but more importantly than that, get out and vote. Thank you.
Our next speaker, also a candidate for Owensboro City Commission, please welcome Joseph Martin.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having me here today. I'm a Vietnam veteran trying to make a difference. I want to develop a plan that help the city's debt. City's debt, okay. I want to, two things I want to ask. Can we afford it? Do we need it? Downtown Riverfront is great, but what about the rest of the city? I'm for the working families, senior citizens, police department, and fire, small businesses. I'm 100% for accountability, efficiency, and transparency. I ask for your vote on November 8th. You haven't seen nothing yet. Thank you.
Our next speaker running for the seat on Owensboro City Commission, please welcome Teresa Thomas.
I had to lower it because I think I'm the shortest candidate. All right, good evening. As Kirk said, I'm Teresa Thomas, and this is my first run at any type of political game. And I owe some of it to Kirk Kirkpatrick because I started with him on Friday After 5, and he's an inspiration. If anyone knows Kirk, give him a round of applause for even being here today, being our MC. Because of him is why I'm standing up here. It gave me the courage to do this. Also, I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for having us, putting this together, AT&T for being the sponsor, all the media for being here. But with that all being said, I know in our community, we all want a safe community, and we want quality neighborhoods, outstanding education, and we want a great place to raise our children. And we have that here in Owensboro. But what we need to work on are good quality paying jobs. And for the most part, the EDC, and I know that some of them are here today from the EDC, the city of Owensboro, they have instrumentally worked on getting some jobs here from Alorica. They're bringing 840 jobs. But the biggest hurdle we have is we have to make sure we can fill those jobs. So we have to get it work ready. So while I've been out campaigning, the one thing I can tell you I have heard is our citizens want to be heard. So I just want you to know if I'm voted for a city commissioner, I plan on implementing a vision that all citizens, ages, no matter how old you are, can get engaged in meetings that will have maybe quarterly outside of city commission. It's hard to get what you want accomplished at the city commission meetings. I promise to be a strong and progressive voice while breathing new life to the city. So on election day, on November the 8th, please remember to vote for me, Teresa Thomas. I'm number 1 on the ballot, and I appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Our next candidate running for the seat on the Owensboro City Commission, please welcome Jay Vallada.
Good evening. My name is Jay Vallada. I see some familiar faces out here, and it's good to see everybody. I've had the opportunity to run for City Commission this year, and I'm thrilled to do it. I want to give back to my community because I feel like I'm a community servant. I've worked on a lot of different projects in Owensboro. You may be familiar with me with Friday After 5 and that guy and Teresa and a few others around here because we always like to bring entertainment to Owensboro, but there's more than that. We got to make sure that we have the proper infrastructure to keep this city moving forward and be progressive, but we got to do it responsibly. Okay, so maybe we have a little budget issue. We can work on that because we're bringing new jobs in every day. Big announcements are coming out. I know stuff that's coming up that I can't even tell you about. I promise it's coming. I work with a great group of people, some of the most dynamic people in the industry, and we've got stuff coming. You got a big announcement today, and you'll see it in tomorrow's paper about a TIF project on Highway 54, and some of you may or may not like that, but that's progress, and it's great progress because it's infrastructure. It means we're going to be able to drive on the streets that would get us to work every day. It's going to give us the opportunity to continue to support our infrastructure. It's going to give us a chance to support those folks that are out there keeping us safe every day, our essential services, Owensboro Fire Department, Owensboro Police Department, first responders, those people that make sure we have the ability to go out and do what we enjoy doing in this community each and every day. There are things coming, but we also have to remember, we've got some cool stuff here. We want to continue to keep things coming. As the progress continues down the road, new hotels, new adventures, new opportunities, but we also have to make sure that we take care of everybody out there in the meantime. So on November the 8th, be sure that you guys go out and vote. This is an important vote. It's your job as citizens of Owensboro to elect a team that's going to be able to support you and get you the results that you're looking for. So remember me on November the 8th. I'm 8th on the ballot. It's easy, 2 8s in a row. And I look forward to hopefully earning your vote on November 8th. Thank you, guys.
Our final 2 candidates running for Owensboro City Commissioner are both incumbents. First, please welcome Commissioner Bob Glenn.
The sun does indeed shine bright on our Kentucky home. If you told anyone in any city in the Commonwealth of Kentucky that we had 100,000 new visitors since the opening of the convention center, the lowest unemployment rate in the state, over 3,700 new jobs, and we were getting 1 link to an interstate and eventually 2 with I-69, you would have clicked your heels together and said, we've got to be anywhere but Owensboro. But we are in Owensboro. And this community is on the move. We have the energy, the dynamism, and the commitment to make ourselves a star, not just locally, not just regionally, not just across the Commonwealth, but nationwide. We've won numerous awards for the park, for economic development, for being an outstanding small city. We didn't win it because I'm city commissioner or Pam Smith Wright is city commissioner. We won it because the greatest resource we have is sitting in the chairs in front of me. It's you, the great, hardworking community of Owensboro, Kentucky. And I want you to know it's been an honor and a privilege to serve you over the last 4 years as one of your 4 city commissioners. What I bring to the table is I'm a good listener. Number two, I do my homework. We're going to have some very difficult challenges in the next few years. RWRA, their EPA mandate, obviously OMU, and they're building a new water plant. We're certainly going to have challenges in terms of our finances, but we will work through those because we will take the time to find the best decisions and best solutions to those problems. More importantly, my focus is on building a community that's great for senior citizens, for veterans, and the young people that are sitting out there today, because they're our future. As an educator, the key to our future is to make a community that young people want to live in, stay in, get educated in, and become a contributing member of our community. And I've been to hundreds of homes, knocked on thousands of doors. Young people are coming back to Owensboro because of what we, not me, we, all of us have done. With your support on November 8th, help me continue work for you and work for this wonderful community in which the sun surely is shining bright upon us today. We are truly an all-American city. Thank you for your time.
And our final candidate running for Owensboro City Commissioner, please welcome Commissioner Pam Smith-Wright.
Good evening, or good afternoon. I am so proud and honored to be here today, and I want to thank the Chamber for hosting this. I am honored to have been your city commissioner for the past 6 years, and Owensboro's first woman mayor pro tem. I only have 2 minutes, so I'm going to have to talk fast. I want you to know that I am so proud of the revitalization that the City Commission has done since I've been in office. And the revitalization, don't believe the hype, it's not just downtown. Mechanicsville, where I grew up, is a changed neighborhood. People are living better there than they have in 20 years. There's Germantown. We have infrastructure. We have the Harsh Ditch and all of those things that's alleviating the flooding on Parish Avenue and all across our city. We've taken care of all of that. You know, today I was talking with a friend of mine, Steve Caslin, and he said his mother went to vote today, and she kept saying, I need to vote for Pam. And Steve's such a friend, and he was kidding her, said, you don't want to vote for Pam? And she said, yes, I do. And he said, Pam, I tried to buy her vote, and she wouldn't even do that. We've done a lot of great things here in Owensboro since I've been on the commission, and I want to continue that. I want us to continue to move forward. Yes, we have some debt, but you know what? When you have anything that's worth having, you'll have a little debt. We're going to work on that debt. That's why we're bringing these jobs in here, and people are moving back, buying homes. All of those things are going to increase our tax roll, and we'll be able to pay for this. Now, what you really don't want to do is to stop, because 8 years ago, all of this was closed up. There wasn't a time for the children to be down here on this night for the Trail of Treats because they were all somewhere else. But we have now got this place on the move. And I would appreciate your vote on November the 8th, and I am number 7 on the ballot. Thank you very much.
You will have the opportunity to elect 4 city commissioners, and you heard all of the candidates today. If you would, please join me in giving them all a round of applause for being here today and for putting themselves in front of you and on the ballot. Thank you. Next are the candidates running for the mayor of Owensboro. Now, these candidates will each receive 3 minutes each to address you. Please join me in welcoming our first candidate, David Crane.
How's everybody doing tonight? I'd like to thank you all for coming out. I know it's a little chilly tonight, a little windy, and hopefully it won't mess up my hair too much while I'm talking to you. My name's Dave Crane. I'm number 5 on the ballot. A little bit about myself. I'm an Owensboro native. I was born here. I was raised here. 4 generations of my family have grown up here. A lot of them are up in Rose Hill and Elmwood Cemetery right now, and that's probably where I'm going to be planted when I'm done with it. So I've got some roots here. Some of the concerns we've had with the city are the budget and parking, traffic, potholes, things that we could just talk about on and on. One of the things I noticed in the paper the other day is we had a shortfall in the tax revenues, and in the exact same paper, they wanted to issue a new bond, multi-million-dollar bond. I mean, that's like getting your hours cut at work and you celebrate by going out and buying a new Cadillac. It's not a good business practice. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. We need to bring some controlled spending. Sure, there's going to be expenditures. Sure, there's going to be things we have to buy. But we need to work on paying down some of our debt. It's something that our children are going to have to pay for, and we don't want to get to the point where our grandchildren are going to have to pay for some of the things that are going on now. I mean, no one can really object that everything that's going on down on the river is fantastic. It's brought a lot of people to the city, brought a lot of notoriety, a lot of visibility to the city. It's not so much what's been done, it's the way it's been done, because those are your tax dollars. And I don't recall anyone asking me if we wanted to go $100 million in debt for that particular project or portions thereof. And I'm pretty sure nobody asked the bulk of you. And when you say something like that, people say, well, come to the city commission meetings, contact us, email us. Well, a lot of people don't go to city commission meetings because they feel that no matter what they say, however earnest, however heartfelt, however legitimate their concern, that they're not going to get listened to. That's why you don't get a lot of participation. So we need to improve communication between the elected officials and everyone out in our city. Running short on time, we could talk all day about things. I would like to add in closing, I believe the office of mayor is a 100% commitment. I know being mayor deserves that, and I know the people of our city deserve a 100% commitment. I don't believe that being mayor is a part-time job. Some have listed it as a part-time job due to what it pays. It's not a part-time job. It's not a second job. It's not moonlighting. It's not something you do on the side after you work 9 to 5. If you choose to vote for me on November 8th, being mayor is all I will do. I will devote 100% of my time and effort to that, as it should be. So again, my name's Dave Crane. I'm number 5 on the ballot. I look forward to your decisions on November 8th. Thank you.
We have a little glare. Is this going to stop the glare? Chad Benefield, is this stopping the glare right there? Okay, thank you. We just were, sorry. Cameras needed attention. Our next candidate running for the position of Mayor of Owensboro, please welcome Neil Johnston. Oh, is Doug next? I'm sorry. My fault, excuse me, I'm out of... the next candidate, as we are agreed on this order, please welcome Doug Hoyt. Did you think I was going to leave you out, buddy? Thanks, Mark. Thank you, Doug.
I hope that's not a sign of things to come. Sorry about that. My name's Doug Hoyt. I am standing here today with the honor and the privilege of running for mayor of Owensboro. We live in this great land, and fall is on us, and now is the time for elections to happen, and we have the opportunity to exercise the greatest right that we have, and that's to vote. I encourage all of you to vote. I get the question all the time, why do I want to be mayor? My wife and I have 2 children and 4 grandchildren, all of which live in this community. And I want them to have the opportunity, and their children and grandchildren, to stay in this community. I want to build a sustainable community that will, in fact, allow them to remain here. My background is 31 years in business, 13 with the Green River Area Development District, working in community and economic development, 18 now with Kenergy, doing much the same thing, not just in the city of Owensboro, but in this entire region. I've had a lot of successes over those 31 years. A lot of experience has been gained, and I believe that I can bring that experience to this community to move us forward in a responsible way. My campaign has been about responsible progress. I want us to always continue to move forward. I want us to look forward, never behind. There's nobody that can argue. What we have done is very, very nice. It has been very valuable to this community, and I want us to continue moving forward instead of taking steps backward. But I want us to do it in a responsible way. That means that we have to make some tough decisions moving forward. I want to bring a fresh perspective to this community so that we can begin to make some good community-wide decisions, decisions that involve everybody, decisions that open for opportunity to have input, to build a community vision. If we do that, we're going to move together much stronger as a community, and I believe that I have the skills to do that. Again, I'm humbled to be able to stand here today and say I am a candidate for mayor of Owensboro. It is something that I have wanted to do for years since I was a student at Kentucky Wesleyan. I am proud to be a candidate, and I am asking for your support and your vote on November 8th. Number 3 on the ballot, Doug Hoyt. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doug. I'm sorry I got you out early, buddy. Nice job. Our next candidate running for the position of the mayor of Owensboro is Mayor Pro Tem, Neil Johnston. Let's just throw Neil out here. Thank you, Neil. We're going to get it straight here, buddy.
They'll figure it out somehow. As I went through this and I had this opportunity, I wanted to sit here and thank a lot of men and women throughout my life who have been there for me and have helped guide me. Starting with Doris Layton, she was my Sunday school teacher. Miss Adams, my 4th grade teacher. Miss Butler, my 5th grade teacher. Miss Lamb, a 6th grade and 7th and 8th grade teacher of mine. Mike Martin, Denny Pate, youth football coaches of mine. Clyde Schaefer, Jody Lacefield, Mike Thompson, and Carl Vanover, men of faith who have affected my life. I would like to go to as far as Eddie Parrish, my high school baseball coach, Joe Prince, my high school football coach. I would like to also thank Lee Franey, Jimmy Edge, Larry and Dexter Cameron, Ron Hagan, and so many other businessmen who have helped me with the business wisdom that they have given myself. And I'd like to thank a lot of families. Mike and Sharon Weaver, Frank and Debbie Walton, Tim and Sheila Royal, Joe and Rhonda Irecane, John and Ashley Irecane, John and Diane Howard. I would like to thank individuals, Lisa Edge, John Edge, Steve Caslin, Lynn Holland, and so many more. Those people are the reason why I'm here. They're a big part of my success. And without thanking them, there's no reason I would ever be here. See, I'm just a young man. I'm not Abraham Lincoln. I'm not George Washington. I'm not Martin Luther King. And I'm not the Easter Bunny, reference to Remember the Titans. But what I am is a young man who was raised in poverty. I grew up around drugs. I lived in trailer parks, I lived in project housing, and I lived at homeless shelters at times. And through that, I understood that this thing is way bigger than myself. See, I could go on about my accomplishments and what I've done already at this point in life, but it's way bigger than myself. This city has a lot of fixing to do. See, as politicians, we get very accustomed to shaking hands, knocking doors, planting yard signs, and running negative campaign ads against the other individual leading up to the election. Then as soon as the second Tuesday of November passes and all that's done, we leave. We're done. We go back to our yacht clubs. We go to our country clubs. We live in our high society. We forget about the people. They forget about us, the folks out here. And see, the reason I'm running is I believe in the people. People are important. Those people that affected my life, the ones that I mentioned before, are the reason I'm here. And we need more success stories like that. We need someone to put your arm around them and tell them that they love them. Someone to pat them on the back and to sit there and say, I'm here for you no matter what. No matter your race, no matter your age, no matter your gender, no matter your lifestyle, no matter your background. See, as I go throughout the community, I hear a lot of stories and a lot of issues. But the main one that the people say is they don't feel like they're heard. They don't feel valued. Well, there's so many untapped resources inside of our community, and we choose to neglect them. This November 8th, we have a chance to change that. We have young people. 10% of our Owensboro public school kids classify as homeless. Our middle class citizens, they sit there and they have more $10, $11 an hour jobs, but they don't have career opportunities, and we wonder why they leave. And I'm going to close. Give me 15 seconds. And our senior citizens who were promised a new facility, But instead, they got new paint and new carpet on a 70-year-old dilapidated building. See, the next 4 years, we can have a lot of fun. We can have a lot of change. Or we can continue to stay in the bad relationship that many of us have experienced in life with between our government and our people. And we can sit there and we can stay in that. Do you want change? Do you want something different?
Our next candidate running for mayor is Mayor Pro Tem Jeff Sanford.
Look at all the beautiful faces I see out here. Thank you for having me tonight. And, you know, tonight, I just wanted to think about what I was going to say. And it's pretty much about my journey. As I said, I'm Mayor Pro Tem Jeff Sanford. My journey started a long time ago. And a lot of people that I see out here today, I have to thank because you helped me get here. I didn't have any money when I started, but I worked extremely hard. My journey started years ago, about 8 years ago. I'd knocked, and still do, on thousands of doors. I've been on front porches. I've been on back porches. I've been at people's kitchen tables. I've seen people hurting cry. I really have. I've seen happy people laugh. I've seen the innocence of our children, our innocent children, play in the yards as I go up into the yard. I've seen the wisdom of our elderly. I've seen the sacrifice in the eyes of our veterans. I am listening, Owensboro, and I can tell you that because I've been to your houses, your stores, the restaurants for years. We must move forward and move forward responsibly, or we will surely stall. The foundation of our success has been laid, and we have had $1 billion invested in our community in the last 8 years. Think about that. We've added over 3,700 jobs. We should be very proud of that, and I am. We've got 4% unemployment. As John Quincy Adams said, if your actions inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and become more, you are a leader. I am positive with my whole being that if we work together, anything is possible. I have a dream, and I want to lead Owensboro to tomorrow. I want to lift everyone up who wants an opportunity, keep the private sector moving forward and ahead. I want to work with our educators, provide the skills to our youth for tomorrow, inspire small businesses to grow, keeping work local for all people, inviting everyone to the table who wants a seat, and more diversity. Support our police and fire because they keep us safe every day. Engage our veterans who have sacrificed for our freedoms. Today we are the envy of the region, the state, and the country. I stand here today in amazement of how far we've come, and I'm so excited for what's on the horizon for Owensboro, Kentucky. Now, let's get excited about it. Y'all don't look too excited, but we need to be because we have done so much for this city, and it's not me, it's you. You have done it. It's not just me, it's you. All of you have done this. We will not be outworked by any city, and I will guarantee you that we will never be outworked because I'll outwork all of them. I'll tell you that right now, and I will inspire others to do the same. I need your help, and I'm asking for your vote. God bless our people of the United States of America. Jeff Sanford on November 8th. I appreciate your vote. Thank you very much.
Our final speaker, again running for the position of mayor of Owensboro is former mayor Tom Watson. Hey, Tom. Thanks for coming.
All right. Well, good afternoon. As Kirk said, I am the former mayor of Owensboro. I did inherit a deficit the last time I was here, $2.1 million. And we turned that deficit around as a group. I had great city commissioners to work with, and we left them with $9.3 million in reserves. And we did that without raising your taxes. And that's what we plan to do again. I've lived here all my life. My lovely wife, Barbara, sitting there. We own a business, Prosthetic and Orthotic Lab, with offices here in Owensboro and Evansville. We have 2 sons, 2 daughter-in-laws, and 7 grandchildren. And the reason I'm running again is I want our community to be all it can be for my grandchildren. Hopefully they'll come back and live in Owensboro. And I'm tired of people saying that we didn't do anything the last time we were in office. Sick and tired of it. If you want to know what all was accomplished, I have a piece of paper that's completely filled up with the accomplishments. We had a plan when Senator McConnell said, here's some $40 million, do a plan, fix your waterfront. We did a plan. We had 30 public meetings. You, the people, decided what you wanted downtown, not me and not the rest of the commission. So we left there, plan was paid for, no taxes raised, and when I left, we had $24 million worth of debt. Now, almost 8 years later, we have a beautiful waterfront. Nobody can deny that. But we also have $150 million of debt that we're going to have to try and find out a way to reduce it. The 4-year projected debt that this commission passed totals $17.1 million deficit. I'm here to tell you we got our work to do, but I'm confident with all the people that we have together, the network of friends, the associations I have with state and federal governments, we're going to give it everything we got. And I'm very proud to have an opportunity to run for mayor again, and I promise you, I'll do my best. I appreciate your vote. God bless.
Thank you. There will only be one mayor, so your vote will have a very definite influence on the outcome. If you would, please join me in thanking all of the candidates that put their name on the ballots and are out trying to earn your vote. For House Race District 12, these are our next candidates that will be speaking to you. Again, they each have 3 minutes. Please welcome first former Judge Jim Townsend. Jim?
Good afternoon. It's good to be here with you. It's good to be here with this good crowd of people. I certainly hope you will vote. If you're in the 12th district, I hope you'll vote for me. As you can see, I'm here by myself. My opponent did not show. This is the second time he has not shown. I guess he's scared of me is the only thing I can think of. I don't know why. Never have been offensive to him or anything. How many are getting cool? Yeah, you're cold, aren't you? Well, my hands are cold too. But let me say to you, I am running for 12th District State Representative. I am looking forward to being elected to that position. I'm looking forward to going to Frankfurt. My top topics that I'm going to be working on if I'm elected is education, because that's one thing you can get and can never lose, or it can't be taken away from you. So if you're educated and have a field that you're interested in, that's what you need to do, is take that education. Number 2 is infrastructure and jobs. If we are allowed to put more monies into infrastructure, we're going to create jobs. So those work hand in hand. I feel like that as far as back to the education part, we are not putting enough emphasis on education, especially in our trade schools. That's what I call them. That's what they were when I was growing up, trade schools. There are so many people that try to make it in college, they can't make it. They just don't have the whatever to do that. My son was one of those people. Right now, he's doing a great job in Madisonville, Kentucky, and at a Toyota dealership there. Great job, making a lot of money, more than probably if he had gone to college. But like I said, my emphasis is on education, jobs, and infrastructure. I know in Webster County, I'm from Webster County. I was born and raised there. I've lived there all my life. My wife is from Hopkins County, and she is the mayor of the city we live in, Dixon. I was county judge for 25 years, and she decided to run for mayor. Don't understand it, but anyhow, she's the boss of the city. But anyhow, thank you, everyone, for allowing me to be here. I look forward to seeing you on November the 8th. Vote. Please vote. If you can't vote for me, vote for somebody. Just vote. Thank you.
As the judge said, Representative Gooch could not attend due to a scheduling conflict, the judge's opponent. But if you would please join me in thanking the judge for coming today as part of the Red, White, and Blue Forum. Next is the District 13 House race here in the state of Kentucky. And our first speaker, again with 3 minutes, please welcome D.J. Johnson.
Thank you. Well, there are many topics I could have discussed with you tonight, but while I was visiting literally thousands of homes in Daviess County this year, one issue just came up over and over again. Can I see a show of hands of the people here who this last year you've watched your utility bill go through the roof? Yeah, really, come on. If you used your air conditioner this summer, you should be raising your hands because I know my bills went up. We live in a state that was once one of the largest coal-producing states in the country. There was a time not long ago when the aluminum industries, manufacturing, and other industries came to our state because of our low energy prices. We did have and should still have the lowest utility bills in the country. But thanks to the radical policies of Barack Obama and the out-of-control EPA, we've reached a point where many of these industries have shut down, and the working men and women have had to sacrifice other necessities just to pay their utility bills. I know a husband and wife who recently had to make a choice. They could pay their rent or they could pay their electric bill. This should not happen in Kentucky. Unlike my opponent and the other liberals in the State House, I will not sit by and watch the people of Daviess County be forced to make heartbreaking decisions like this. On day one of the next session, I will file legislation to fight the unconstitutional edicts of the EPA and provide relief to the people of Daviess County. I have a plan, and I will take action. Our skyrocketing energy costs must be dealt with, and they must be dealt with now. But that's just one example of how the radical agendas of Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Greg Stummo have harmed the citizens of Kentucky. Neglected state employee and teacher pension plans, secret pension plans for legislators, out-of-control health insurance costs, and a completely unsustainable Medicaid program are just a few of the policies that are threatening our well-being. Now, my opponent has a position on these issues. He actually said, I am a Democrat, and I follow Democrat policies, period. What he's really saying is that whatever Obama or Hillary or Stumbo want, I will follow, period. It takes no leadership skills to be a rubber stamp vote for your party. In my military days, we called that gross negligence, and it was a court-martial offense. Now, this is the civilian world. It's not the military, and we can't court-martial anybody. However, we can vote them out. My opponent has demonstrated not just by his own words, but by his voting record that he puts party loyalty ahead of the welfare of the people. That's not leadership. That's simply political cronyism. I promise you this, I will not be a rubber stamp vote for anyone, any party, or any special interest group. I will look to my core values when I'm making decisions, and before I make any decision, I will ask, how does this affect the people in Daviess County? I promise you this. I pledge to you that I will always be available to you, and I will always be a strong voice in Frankfort for the people in Daviess County. My name is DJ Johnson, and I am asking for your vote, District 13 State Representative on November 8th. Thank you.
Our next speaker also running for the 13th District, please welcome Representative Jim Glenn.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you. How you doing? My name is Jim Glenn. I was going to speak for 1 minute. I heard this guy said something about power. Clearly, he doesn't understand power. 70% of all the power in this local area, over the 9-county region, was handled by the aluminum companies. They handled all the power costs. The reason the power is going up is because the people from China has lowered the price of aluminum down to 75 cents. It still costs us $1.25. The aluminum people cannot handle that kind of load anymore. They're buying the power out west. Why don't they tell you guys this? You're clapping and you don't understand what you're clapping about. My name is Jim Glenn. I was your state representative. I am currently your state representative. We'll see about that. I was prior to this, I was your city commissioner. In the 10 years I've been in office, we bought $178 million of road money back. There's a multiplier effect. That means this county has got use of $250 million pumped back into infrastructure in this city and in this county. We've done very well. In District 11, the guy said that we weren't doing as well as Tennessee or other parts of the country. You realize, this is out of a newspaper article 2 weeks ago. We generate in this city, for every dollar we spend, we get $1.13 worth of eggs, milk, and bread. That same dollar in Washington, D.C. only generates 85 cents. We are doing very well. The problem is the people who are talking to you have no facts. My name is Jim Glenn. As Doc Watkins, I'm an academic doctor. I graduated from UK. I got my doctorate from UK. My dissertation's in finance. I taught 3 classes this morning. I taught for 5 hours. I normally don't talk very long because you guys are cold. But I'm going to let you know this. I appreciate your vote. The election's in about 1 week. My name is Jim Glenn. I represent District 13, City of Owensboro, Daviess County.
If you would please join me in thanking both of the candidates, Candidate Johnson and Representative Glenn, for coming today. We appreciate you both. Thank you. Next is for District 14 of the Kentucky House of Representatives. And first, please welcome Matt Cashlin.
I just want to thank everybody for showing up here tonight. You know, this is truly a demonstration of democracy right here in our country. You know, being able to gather on a courthouse lawn on different sides, but coming together as Americans. You know, I've had the opportunity to travel from Horse Branch to Rockport, Kentucky, Beaver Dam, Maceo, Whitesville during this campaign, and I can truly say that our country is ready for a change and is desiring a change. You know, we've talked about coal, we've talked about agriculture, we've talked about industry, retirement, school systems, education. But the one thing that I've noticed that a lot of people are caring about right now is something I care about dearly. That's the moral compass of this country and the direction that we're heading. You know, there was a man that had the opportunity to travel to the poorest country in the world. And when he stepped foot off that airplane and he looked around, there was nothing but poverty every direction he looked. No food, no water, no housing. And as they traveled from the airport to a compound, and they got to the compound, they were asked to build a church in the mountains. They traveled 4.5 miles, took them an hour and a half to go up a donkey path up a mountain to build this church on top of the hill. When they arrived there was a man and a woman and 2 children sitting there watching. When they got there, they started construction. The construction took 4 days, and that family was still there every day. No food, no water, no housing, no job. And when they were there, the young man that was on top of the roof that was screwing down the ridge cap could hear Amazing Grace being hummed. As he listened, he come down off the roof, and he walked in. He seen this family in there. When he seen this family in there, they were sitting in the very first pew that they had just bolted down with their hands up singing Amazing Grace. They didn't speak the same language, but that young man knew exactly what it was. Those people were there because they were there for hope. They were there because they still had encouragement for a better day, because they had no food, they had no water, they had no job, but they still had hope. That young man was myself. I was the guy that was on that roof. And that was the day right then that I realized we live in the greatest country in the world, and we have so many blessings. It's time for good people to stand up and be bold and make sure that we continue this for generations to come. People have fought, died, given their life on foreign soils so that we can be the nation that we are today. And I just want to encourage everybody to stand united together so we can keep America great like it is. Thank you for your time. I'd like to ask for your vote on November 8th. Thank you.
Our final candidate for the House races for today, again for District 14, please welcome Representative Tommy Thompson.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Tommy Thompson, and I'm privileged to be your state representative. You know, during my term of office, I've worked in a bipartisan way to represent the values and the priorities of the people that I'm blessed to serve in the 14th Legislative District. And I've worked to improve their quality of life and provide them with more economic opportunities. And you know, the race for state representative is a local race, and that's why, candidly, I'm a little disappointed that outside groups have been working to associate me with some unpopular federal issues that I have nothing to do about in an attempt to distort my record. But the people that I'm privileged to serve in Ohio and Daviess County know me, you know my record, and you know what I stand for. And I'm not responsible to the current President of the United States, and I'm not going to be responsible to whoever the next president might be. I'm only responsible to the people that I'm so privileged to represent in Ohio and Daviess counties. You know, what this race for state representative should be about is who can best speak for the interests and the needs of the people of the 14th Legislative District, Bruce, and who can best deliver on those needs. I think that I have the leadership abilities, the experience, and the relationships to be that person. And I'm proud to have been able to deliver on projects of importance for our community, like the bypass extension, like funding for the soon-to-be work on widening Highway 54, for the Advanced Technology Center at our community college, which is going to be so important for workforce development to make sure our people have the skills to be employable, for the Bluegrass Crossing, for the great industrial park we have in Ohio County, a new road there. So I'm proud of being able to do that. And, you know, I'm not running for office to make a point. I'm running for office to make a difference. You know, our legislature, our General Assembly, only meets part-time. But I'm a full-time fighter and advocate for the citizens of Ohio and Daviess County. So I appreciate you all being here today. I sincerely ask for your vote to continue working for you, as I want to continue working with our citizens and our officials to make Daviess and Ohio counties even better places to call home. Thank you very much.
Please join me in thanking both of the candidates that came today to speak to us on the 14th District. Ladies and gentlemen, he's running unopposed, so it's quite an honor to have him here today. Please join me in welcoming our the United States Congressman representing Owensboro, Congressman Brett Guthrie.
Thanks, appreciate it very much. Thank you. Sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. As he said unopposed, I won't be too long because the main event is next. It's important to be here, and it's important to let you know that the House of Representatives have worked hard over the last year putting together an agenda that we want to put in place that pays down our debt, balances our budget, pays down our debt. Make sure your health care plan is about you and your doctor, not you and the government. And we want to get executive power out of the legislative branch. Those are things that we're working for and moving forward. The problem is when you put forth a positive agenda, if you're positive in today's world, they don't put you on the news. But that's what we're working to move forward to. But I want to just tell this one story, and I'll stop. I remember when I first came to Owensboro, when I was running for office, and I was there with the then Mayor, Tom Watson, standing out on the river. And the first big project that Senator McConnell is bringing, that had appropriated for, was just beginning, which completely transformed this riverfront. And every time I come here, I see something new happening, and it's because of the citizens of Owensboro. It's not because of stuff that drops out of Washington or moves forward. It's because people here want to make their community better. And I even had a mayor in eastern Kentucky say, what's going on in Owensboro? I want to come there and see what they're doing. I said, well, it's just hardworking people that get it done. But I was out on the river earlier this summer, just finished a book on Lewis and Clark, and I stood there and you think about it, Lewis and Clark, well, Lewis started in Pittsburgh, but Lewis and Clark started in Louisville, came right down, right where we are. And I sit out there, just imagine that flotilla going down the Ohio River, trying to get out to parts unknown, to see what we bought from Louisiana and try to see how we can unite the continent. And what their purpose was and what their mission did was unite this country demographically. So what I think all of us need to do on November the 9th when we wake up is dedicate ourselves to uniting this country again. We've been split. We have a lot of divisions over the last several years, but bring this country together, and we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We don't have to invent the wheel. We know what does it. It's dedication to the principles of the Declaration of Independence, the right to life, to liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It's dedication to the Constitution, which is constitutional, representative, limited government. And what's unlimited is the belief and the hope and the potential of every single American. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. Over the last 214 years since the Constitution, 228 since the Constitution was passed, we've created a society like none other that's ever existed. America is unique. America is exceptional. It's because people from Owensboro, people from Kentucky, and people from this country are exceptional, and your government needs to get out of the way and let you move forward. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me here.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, our final two speakers. We are honored to have both of these candidates. Both are vying for the seat representing Kentucky in the United States Senate. Please give a warm Owensboro welcome to our first speaker, Mayor Jim Gray.
Thanks. Well, it's great to be in Owensboro. Let me introduce myself. My name is Jim Gray, and I am the guy who's going to beat Rand Paul. All right. Now, let me share with you all. You know, this is the hometown of Wendell Ford, of course. And I love being in Owensboro, but I'm from Glasgow. I'm from Southern Kentucky. I'm from Barron County. And like my opponent, I actually have some politicians in the family. Now, not all of them ran for president all the time. I had a great Aunt Bess. We called her Aunt Bessie. And Aunt Bess was elected county court clerk of Barron County in 1920, the year that women got the right to vote. And she served for 34 years, longer, her opponent said, than Jesus Christ walked on the face of the earth. So, that's to say that Senator Paul and I have some actual similarities. But we're in the hometown, as I said, of Wendell Ford, a great statesman. And Wendell, he liked occasionally, as you all know, he liked to joke occasionally about his opponent, but it was in a good-spirited way, in a good-humored way. And he might have described my opponent this way: as a presidential candidate without a campaign, as an eye doctor without patience, as a tea partier without a real party, and as a transplanted Texan who was elected to represent the people of Kentucky but didn't. That's the way Wendell Ford may have done it. But you know, Wendell never forgot his hometown. This was his home. And he believed in serving the people of Kentucky. You know, he didn't believe in filibusters or philosophies or theories. He believed in getting things done. Projects that government has always gotten done, like the Wendell Ford bypass. Think about it. The highways, the Natcher Parkway, all across western Kentucky. Projects that Wendell Ford got done. You know, there are things happening today in our country, and you all know this, that we got to fix. We've got a lot of issues, from affordable health care to immigration, drug addiction. We've got to reform our criminal justice system, tax reform. But at the end of the day, it's about people. Just last week, I met Frankie Clayton. He's here with his wife, Ruth Ann, and they're sitting right here on the front row. And Frankie told me he's a retired coal miner. And he told me that he got his letter just last week notifying him that he is losing his health care benefits. Now, Senator Paul has had a chance to rectify that situation, but he said he is against the Miners Protection Act. The Miners Protection Act that would provide benefits and extended health care to these miners, these coal miners, who are threatened to lose it. Now, that's not where Wendell Ford would have been. Wendell Ford would have been with Frankie Clayton. Wendell Ford would have been with these mine workers that are losing their pensions and their benefits. Now, I want to tell you, I'm going to be a senator like Wendell Ford. I have learned what it's like to work across the aisle. I grew up in a family business, and we experienced insolvency. We were near bankruptcy. But we learned to work together as a family. We learned to overcome adversity, just like our nation has, by getting things done. And I did the same thing as a mayor of Lexington. I had a $30 million budget deficit we had to fix. We had a pension reform we had to work through. We had a health insurance that we had to work through. We worked through all these things. And what I learned is you cannot filibuster yourself to success. There's no philosophy or there's no theory that's going to build you a bridge or a highway or a road. You've got to work together with people. And that's exactly what I commit to you all today to do. As your U.S. Senator, you know, I've learned not every Democratic idea is a good one, and not every Republican idea is a bad one. We need to listen. We need to listen to people just like you all who are sitting out here in the cold today representing democracy in a really meaningful way. And I promise you that that is exactly what I will commit to. I am committed to doing just that, serving the people of Kentucky every single day. You won't find me ever running for president. You will find me working for the people of Kentucky. So, as I close, thank you all for being out here today. Thank you for inviting me. And I ask for your vote on November the 8th. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
And our final speaker, please give a warm Owensboro welcome to Senator Rand Paul.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. The number one priority of the federal government is to defend the country. There is no greater responsibility than defending our country against enemies, foreign and domestic. In fact, that's the first thing we say when we're elected, is to take the oath of office, to defend the Constitution. This is something that I take very seriously. If we wish to defend the country, though, we become weaker as the country gets further and further mired in debt. We have a $20 trillion debt. We're adding debt at about $1 million every minute.
Admiral Mullen and others have said that the greatest threat to our national security is our debt. We have to do something about the spending. We have to do something about the accumulation of debt. But what we hear are two competing visions for the country. We hear one vision from Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton that is more regulation and higher taxes. I don't think that's the answer. We're sort of limping along as an economy. We have an economy growing at 1% right now. Historically, we've been able to grow at 3% or more, and yet we're dragging this anvil of debt along that's slowing down the economy. There's not only a war on coal, there's a war on the family farm. There's the war on the local banks. There's a war on your local hospitals. It's a regulatory war, and it's coming against us in an unconstitutional way because the president is doing it through executive order, by regulatory fiat. You see, our founding fathers didn't want a king. They didn't want rule by imperial edict. They wanted the checks and balances. Madison put it this way. He said that where power lies, there lies the greatest danger. They wanted to disperse power and have checks and balances between co-equal branches of government. And what's happened is power has become to accumulate more and more and more in the presidential power. This is a problem and a great danger. If we want to have jobs in our country, we have to compete with the world. We have the highest corporate income tax in the world. The other side wants to raise it. We have a $2 trillion regulatory burden. The other side wants to increase it. When we look at coal miners and we say, how are we going to help coal miners? The first thing you have to do is stop hurting the coal miners. The war on coal has killed the coal industry. Why are the pension funds short? Why is this miner suffering? Because his pension is short? It's because Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama killed the coal industry. They can't contribute to the pension because of the war on coal. If we want to thrive as a nation, we need to remember that our job and our priority is to defend our God-given liberty. That's what the Constitution's about. Our rights come from God, and we are to defend those rights against all enemies, foreign and domestic. The debt does matter. Many on the other side are saying, oh, debt's no big deal. We have an enormous debt, $20 trillion. If we want to provide for our country, we have to look for ways of finding that money. If we want another bridge across the Ohio River, we need to look for ways to find that money. What I have proposed is this. I have proposed that instead of building roads and building bridges in foreign countries, let's spend that money here at home. We've spent $100 billion paving Afghanistan. Let's bring that money home. We have spent $15 billion in Pakistan. We're borrowing money from China to send it to Pakistan. We send foreign aid to countries that hate us, that burn our flag and yell death to America. I say not one penny more to these people who hate America. We need to set our priorities, and our priorities need to be about rebuilding our country. In order to have enough money to do it, we have to cut out the waste. There's waste everywhere from top to bottom. Hillary Clinton spent $80 million on an embassy in Afghanistan that will never open. Look, America is the richest, the freest, the greatest country ever in the history of mankind. We are also the most humanitarian. If you want to have enough wealth as a country to give to help your fellow neighbor, you have to believe in the economic system that created that success. That economic system is one of liberty, of largely being left alone, of a government so small we can barely see it, and of a government that provides for a national defense and protects our God-given liberty. In that fight, I will continue to be your servant. Thank you.
Let's give a round of applause to all of our candidates, especially our two senator candidates. I want to thank you for investing your time and putting up with a little cool out here to help our republic. Please vote on behalf of the Greater Owensboro Chamber of Commerce and our sponsor, AT&T. Thank you, and we'll see you at the polls.